Hi guys, Brian Zaney here at CalHomeCo Construction, here to talk to you today about how to choose a great contractor. Well, what a lot of people don't realize is that selecting a good contractor is essentially like getting into a short-term or potentially long-term relationship, depending on your project. So you really want to make sure that, every relationship, you have three major components that are covered. One, that your expectations were clearly set and met throughout the project. There's clear communication, and then you have the ability to problem solve with whichever contractor you choose. Today, we're going to be highlighting some questions that I've found over time are very important to ask when selecting a contractor in order to make sure you find the right fit for you. So first, before you get started with any contractor, you should be able to find their CSLB number on their website or business card. First thing you're probably going to want to do is just to log on to the CSLB website and verify that their contractor's license is valid and active. You don't want to be working with a contractor that is not licensed. That could cause some issues with you and during the inspection process in the city, and your entire project could be put on hold or shut down. So that's definitely step one, and I would highly consider doing that before you even get on the phone or take a virtual call with any contracting company you're looking to work with. Next is obviously going to be, can and are you willing to provide testimonials and past client references? This is very important because I have seen contractors and other businesses out there on Yelp who pay their friends and family to write reviews for them. So speaking to some past clients and getting some actually good references on how the project went, were their expectations met? These are very important questions to ask some of their past and current clients, just so that you know what you're getting yourself into, which leads into the next question. Have their last few projects finished on time and on budget? Everyone is going to sit down with you and go through a proposal. They're going to give you a number and they're going to give you a timeline, and that's what your agreement's going to be. Especially when you're talking to some of those references, ask them, say, hey, were the numbers for the cost of the project and were the numbers for the timeline it was going to take, did they end up hitting those goals? And that's a really important question to ask yourself too, because if the answer is no from some of their past clients, or well, this happened and this happened, you could discover a couple red flags that may have you end up choosing a contractor that has a little bit better of a track record and didn't have any of those issues with past clients. So asking those references, and ask the contractors themselves, what percentage of your projects do you finish on time and on budget, and see what they have to say for themselves. A good question also is, are you working with a mom and pop smaller company where there's only one project manager, or maybe it's just the owner who is hiring a bunch of subs or friends to do the work? So a great question is, what does their business continuity look like? Meaning, if your project gets started and something were to happen to your project manager, what happens to your project? If there's a family emergency or if they get hurt and they can no longer show up to work for a week or two, does that put your entire project on hold? And if it does, what does that do to the overall cost? And what does that look like at the end of the project when you start looking at change orders? So definitely make sure that you have a team working for you, or if at least they don't have a team, they have a backup plan. Do they have another point of contact that you can go to in case of an emergency that can keep your project running smoothly on the timeline that was projected, so that the expectations are clearly met at the end? How is their communication? From day one, it might be really good because everyone's looking to sign a new project and build a new building. But as you continue to talk to them, it will become very apparent very early on what their communication styles are. And you should choose a contractor that works with your communication style. Obviously, everyone wants a responsive contractor or anyone they're in a relationship with, because communication works two ways. That's how you're able to stay proactive on a project and hit those budget and timeline goals. Does their proposal reflect the level of thoroughness, transparency, and accuracy that you're looking for in a contractor? The last thing you want to do is get a number on a napkin and shake someone's hand and say, oh, that price sounds great. But really, do you know what you're signing up for? Do you know what you're paying for? Do you know what you're getting for that amount? So that thoroughness and transparency and accuracy is very crucial when finding a contractor that's going to work for you, because you want to make sure that you know exactly what's happening on your project, you understand the full scope of work, and that at the end of the day, if you ever have to go back to that proposal and reference, oh yeah, you did say you were going to complete this portion of work, you have a proof in the proposal that you both signed, which is very important as well. Great question is, how do you handle change orders and invoicing? There are some older style methods where people just want checks. Sometimes you can pay through ACH or bank transfer. Sometimes you can put it on a credit card. A lot of times it'll go through financing, so your contractor will be working directly with the lending company or bank in order to determine what those draws and payment schedules look like. But make sure that you have some transparency before you sign any contracts, before you make any agreements with the contractor, to understand, hey, how am I going to be billed? And how can I expect those payments to look like? If they're asking for a lump sum of money up front, one that's technically illegal, and you want to make sure that you don't run into those situations, because a lot of times contractors will be using that to fund their last project and get it across the finish line. So asking these questions is important. You want to make sure, one, that you're not getting taken advantage of, or you're not working with a company who's using your money to fund other projects. You want to make sure that your money is going towards your project. So change orders, invoicing, very important questions to ask. And then obviously, whether you're living on the property during the construction or if you are moving out during the construction, how are you ensured that you're going to have clear visibility into how your progress is going? Do they have some sort of system in place? Are they going to be scheduling regular walkthroughs with you? Do they have a project management software such as CoConstruct like we use, where you actually have clear visibility on your schedule? You get photo updates. We do all of our messaging and our material selection items are all done through one robust system that allows us to have clear communication and allows you to track exactly what's happening on your project at any given time, simply by logging in online or on your phone. And that has been a big successful tool for our clients and for ourselves, because we want our clients to feel comfortable knowing we are doing the work we said we were going to do, and we are meeting the expectations that we set. So those are a few questions. I decided to put them all on one slide, so you could either jot them all down after the presentation or pause it, or you could just take a screenshot. If you have any questions, please feel free to go to our website at www.calhomeco.com. That's CalHomeCo.com, just like in the logo. There's a number and there's a way to reach out to our construction team right there on the front page. I look forward to hearing from you, and thank you.